The Eastern Pacific seems to be the hotbed of activity at this point. That's where we are following a tropical storm in another area of, we'll call it disturbed weather. Here we are, Tropical Storm Dalila. That continues to work its way right now, moving towards the north and the west. And we've got this little disturbance here that's hanging just to the south of the Gulf of Tehuantepec there. Potential for that to develop over the next couple of days. All right, so let's talk about Tropical Storm Dalila. The latest advisory on it showing sustained winds, 65 miles per hour. So that's actually come down a little bit from the last advisory. So maybe a little bit of weakening here with this as it's moving off towards the west at 5 miles per hour. And that general trend should continue. So impacts to land, really not expecting too much of that here for us. So that is certainly some good news. So here's the potential path for it, projected path, I should say, over the coming days. You can see that westward movement and general weakening as we head on towards the end of the weekend. The weekend by Saturday into the evening hours, just a 30-mile-an-hour storm moving its way again farther away from land. So Dalila, really not a major issue. We head towards the Gulf of Tehuantepec, and you can see the thunderstorm activity that has flared up here in that area. So we'll keep an eye on this. Conditions becoming a bit more favorable for it to develop over the next 24 to 48 hours. The National Hurricane Center giving it about a 20% chance of developing. But again, we could see that increase as we head on through time. So we'll keep a track on that. Otherwise, right now we'll see the next name in line, and that would be Eric, if that happens to get named here in at least the Eastern Pacific. Meanwhile, we move to the Atlantic side of things, and things fairly quiet here across the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing showing any signs of developing, at least at this point. A few thunderstorms showing up. What we do have is moisture, tropical moisture that's streaming its way up into the Sunshine State, a good chunk of the southeast, and heading all the way up the east coast. And that's going to lend to some very heavy rain for a lot of those areas. But in terms of developing tropical systems, not looking for that there. And you head out into the rest of the Atlantic, pretty quiet here, closer to the islands, and then back towards the eastern parts of the Atlantic, also fairly quiet. Nothing showing up here. This time of the year, we don't see a whole lot of development in that part of the Atlantic. Although in July, we can see it form in those spots as you head on, again, just to the east of the Antilles, and then working your way back out here along the southeast coast, back across the Gulf of Mexico as well. You can see where those storms generally tend to head. We get about one storm every year.